Welcome back here in Demorest, Georgia. Davis Barlow, Joseph Garwood here with you for game number 2. Joseph, a pitcher's duel in game 1. And, well, let's be honest here, a little biased. I think we'd both like to see some more hits in game 2.
Yeah, Lady Lions, there was one hit combined as we headed late into that game. The Lady Lions bounced back and were able to scrape across a few runs late to take the win. But outstanding performance from Emma McBrayer, a one-hit shutout as we've seen numerous times. And Tiana Zupanich, very good outing for Wesleyan as well to keep them in the ball game.
Zupanich is set to pitch game 2 as well. Of course, McBrayer likely done for the day, assuming Piedmont able to take a big lead and hold on there. But you're right, we headed into the 5th last game with just one hit. Piedmont had a 1. McBrayer working on the no-hitter. She did concede a relatively solid hit there for the 1 hit. And Carly Forster in the circle for Piedmont here in game number 2, going to look to repeat that success that McBrayer found. Well, Piedmont, Joseph, on the flip side, going to get a second, it's very rare. Normally you get a couple lineups through to look at a pitcher, but you're going to get a whole nother game of Zupanich. Yeah,
we saw the Lady Lions. They started to square balls up a little bit more frequently in the second and third time through the batting order, especially the third time through. So we'll see how that affects things today as Forster gets this strike. Forster's numbers coming in, 4-1 record, 2.39 ERA. 44 innings, just 14 strikeouts, so she's going to have the ball in play a lot.
Big swing and a miss there from Fry. She led off game number 1, batting in that first slot, played third in that game as well. She now finds herself in a 2-2 count here to Forrester. Not as many strikeouts as McBrayer. The walks a little bit higher as well as far as ratio on strikeout to walk, and now a full count to the leadoff hitter.
Taylor Fry. Same lineup for Wesleyan as they went with in game 1, with Taylor Fry leading off and playing third base, and she'll take a leadoff walk.
Rough start there. Never want to let the leadoff batter on in any inning, let alone in the game. So no one down, 1 on. Brings Emily Stevenson to the plate here, Joseph. Again, there's not much to talk about as far as game 1 goes because they had just 1 hit as a team.
Yeah, Stevenson was one of the few, I think maybe the only Wesleyan Wolf to reach base more than once. She drew a pair of walks in her first 2 plate appearances.
Oh, this one's bounced off the plate. It will be ruled fair. Fired to second. They'll get 1. Stevenson didn't leave the box, and they'll get 2. She thought it was a foul ball, but that is a great call. Bounces off home plate, goes back into the field. Picked up by Madison Henry. Fired to the shortstop, over to Kara Taylor at first.
Actually, that was a rare 2-6-4 double play because Taylor was charging in on the bunt, so Lindsay Partlow was covering first base. But either way, an outstanding play by Madison Henry. Good awareness to know that she could cut off that lead runner at second base.
Great awareness by Partlow as well to get to first. I just assumed it was Taylor because she was there with so much time to be there. But either way, the Lady Lions will take that double play. It negates an early walk here, and now Zupanich into the box here. The big power hitter line to shortstop, and well, that's a fast top half of the first. 1, 2, 3 in a unique fashion for Carly Forrester. We'll head to the bottom of the first. here for the bottom half of the first. Duponic back in the circle, and Piedmont, very familiar lineup here. Joseph, Jasmine Lowry to lead it off, Caitlin Isley batting second, Kara Taylor the guaranteed third batter, and if someone reaches, we'll see Hannah Morgan in that cleanup spot.
Absolutely. Lowry, a RBI triple in her last at-bat of game one. Continued her outstanding start to the plate.
First pitch swinging. This one popped down the right field line. Good catch over there from Caitlin Bennett. And it's one pitch, one out for Zupanic. And that'll bring Caitlin Isley up to the plate. Joseph, again, we talked about it. Piedmont just one hit going into the bottom of the fifth. They find 2 runs on 3 hits. They got a little bit of help from a throwing error from behind the dish. But again, not too much offense generated in game one. Same pitcher for game 2.
Yeah, we saw a lot of it, and Zupanic was very impressive. Like, obviously, we mentioned her height, being 6 feet tall, are able to get extension to get that fastball on these Piedmont Lady Lion hitters a little faster than they thought. Seemed like they adjusted to the velocity a little bit more as the game went on, and we'll see what Caitlin Isley can do here.
Definitely on top of that one, but just a little bit too much under it. Flied out to left field, secured by one of the Bowen twins, and that will bring Kara Taylor to the plate. So a quick 3 pitches and 2 outs.
One thing we've seen a lot of fly balls from this Lady Lion team. A team that's not hit. They have 1 home run total in the lineup. That comes from Madison Henry. The team that's not had a lot of home runs this year. We can see another fly ball into right center.
This one's got some carry to it. It burns both outfielders here. Kara Taylor chugging for second. She's going to make a break for third. The relay throw too little, too late, and Kara Taylor's got a sliding triple.
Taylor with the head first slide there into third base. They're not sure exactly what Terry Martin wanted, but that ball was absolutely crushed out toward right center field.
I really thought you spoke that one into existence there, as that one just kept on carrying. Again, you're right, just 1 home run, and it's not for a lack of losing players. Again, Piedmont didn't lose any real power from last year. Multiple girls in the lineup have home runs in their careers, just haven't quite found that power this year, but maybe Hannah Morgan can spray one out in the gaps.
Morgan base hit in her last plate appearance of game 1. Ground out and a fly out before that.
Behind 0-1 here. Fastball right down the middle. This one slicing towards the right center field gap, but it's tracked down well there from the center fielder. Stevenson and Piedmont with the 1 hit, not able to plate the run, will go to the top of the second, all tied up. Ariel Wallace to lead off the top of the second for Wesleyan here, and we'll see if Carly Forrester Joseph can get a little bit better of a start to an inning here.
Yeah, Forrester, inauspicious start, the leadoff walk in the first, but the double play, and then the next pitch was a fly out, I believe, and that was pretty much all she wrote.
Oh, and we'll get a 1-pitch ground ball to short, fired over to first with plenty of time there from Macy Allen. And I like the word choice, auspicious. That is the exact opposite right there. That's picture perfect.
Yeah, you love to see that if you're Forrester. A nice little Sunday 2-hop grounder to short, and Macy Allen, sure-handed as always, makes the play.
Kaylin McCord, the first baseman, into the box now. The lefty will try to manufacture something with 1 out as Forrester misses off the plate there for ball 1. And Forrester, not a high strikeout rate. Opponents hitting .282 against her coming into this game here as this one's fouled back. And, you know, if you can pitch to the contact, Joseph, and make it work, no coach will object to that.
Yeah, the walk rate is very low, just 8 walks in 44 innings. So the ball is in play frequently with Forrester. Keeps the defense fresh and on their toes.
Good breaking ball there. Took some speed off of that one and gets a big swing and a miss. So McCord was just under that one. And of course, Joseph, this is a huge pitch with 1-2. You have to be effective with 2 strikes. We saw it against Emery here. That's a big strikeout for Forrester. We saw the opposite when we faced Emery here. Piedmont pitching really struggled with 2 strikes. Of course, they had one big inning where everything imploded, but it starts with being able to get the outs when you need them.
That was a good job by Forrester. She doubled up. She went breaking ball off speed for a strike 2, and she went right back to it again, and McCord was well early on that one.
First of the 2 Bowens here. It's Sabrina into the box. She'll take that high and outside for ball number 1. Back-to-back breaking balls for strikes last at bat. Now looked like 2 fastballs up and out here for 2 straight balls and a plus count for Sabrina Bowen here. The 2-0 delivery. Right down the middle and signaled for strike 1. Taking all the way was Bowen there, Joseph. I don't know if that's a great decision. You've seen the breaking ball from Forrester. Your team's struggling to make contact on it, and you let a fastball go right by, and then you pop one up to the catcher, Madison Henry, there, and, well, I guess we'll never know. No runs, no hits, no errors, none left on. A clean inning for Carly Forrester as we head to the bottom of the 2nd. Catcher Madison Henry due to lead off the bottom of the 2nd here. Votava swinging it behind her, and Partlow, the 3rd guaranteed batter of the inning here. And Joseph, this is another big opportunity for Piedmont. You don't want to go deep into this game again with no runs. Got to get something started, especially this being outside of Henry, being most of Piedmont's 3rd or 4th time through this line, or through seeing. Zupanic as this one skied on the first pitch, and it'll be 1 pitch, 1 out again for Zupanic.
Yeah, another one, ball in the air. There's something about the way Zupanic's pitches are moving. Lady Lions have not been able to straighten it out with those line drives that you like to see. A lot of skied pop-ups.
And now the 500 hitting Kennedy Votava into the box here. 14 for 28, Joseph, thus far this season. You know, we talk about the depth that this Piedmont roster carries here. This is a classic example of hitting your way into the lineup.
Yeah, Votava has kind of emerged from that pack of corner outfielders that Piedmont has. And Terry Martin just kind of trying to find what sticks. And Votava has absolutely shown that mettle so far.
Big bunt here. She can fly, and she'll beat it out. Fielded well, and a great throw over there from Taylor Fry, but not quick enough to get Votava. It's her 15th hit of the season, and, I mean, that's the Votava special there. Drop the bunt to 3rd and take off.
Now over 500, kind of like we saw Rebecca Stegmeyer of her 4 years at Piedmont do that a lot. Literally, the 3rd baseman, Fry, you could not do anymore. She fielded it cleanly, threw a dart over to 1st, but Votava coming out of the left-handed batter's box, just a little bit too fast.
And now the 2nd baseman, Lindsay Partlow, into the box. She fakes the bunt here. Votava trying to steal, just got gunned at 2nd base. And wow. Wait, they ruled her safe. This is going to draw some questions here. Votava had the throw.
The shortstop had to
by a mile.
Shortstop had to have bobbled the ball.
Maybe missed the tag? It's going to draw some questions from Ryan Bliss. I'm sure he's as confused as we are here. Votava was out by 3 or 4 steps if the tag is applied.
Piedmont was successful in all their stolen base attempts back in game 1. That was probably the best throw we've seen from Wesleyan catcher Presley Edwards. It was right on the money, and Votava probably didn't get her best jump. And either way, we're having a nice little discussion between Bliss and the 2 base umpires now are going to confer.
The umpire signaled as if there was no tag. And the other base umpire has the same, so we'll go with a no tag there. Votava, I mean, really, it's a good slide to get her out of a rough situation because that was a fantastic throw from Edwards behind the plate. That's a big base runner as well, Joseph, because now you've taken the double play out of the equation. Partlow now just has to get the runner over, or a single will score Votava. She can absolutely fly, and the count now goes 0-2.
Partlow with maybe one of the 2 hardest hit balls of the game in game 1 against Zupanich. Waited on a breaking ball that she left a little too much over the plate and swatted it into left field.
This one grounded straight back to the pitcher. Heads up play by Zupanich to check the runner, but Votava's just too fast. They'll get the out at first, but Votava advancing on the throw to first there will now stand just 1 base away.
Adventurous trip around the bases for Votava, getting the uniform dirty.
No kidding.
In the 2nd inning already. So we'll see what Macy Allen can do with the runner at 3rd and 2 out.
Allen hitting .333 on the season. Having a stellar year, her best year thus far at shortstop. She's seen action in all 4 years here in Demorest, and this has by far been her best in the field, her best at the plate.
Something you love to see, a senior kind of coming into her own in her last year.
8 RBIs thus far this season as well. She'd love number 9 right now as that one smacks off the press booth. It goes back into play, and quickly behind here is Allen, 0-2.
That would startle the press box a little bit. If anyone up here was not paying attention, they are now.
Locked in for the 0-2. Zupanich deals. Swing and a miss there, and once again gets out of trouble. So Piedmont, 2 opportunities, no runs to boot, and we'll go to the top of the 3rd, still tied at 0. Headed to the top of the 3rd. Here's still no score from the Walker Athletic Complex. Joseph, it's looking like a mirror image, a copy-pasted version of game number 1, except the only difference, Carly Forrester on the bump instead of Emma McBrayer.
You really look at those 2. They're very similar style of pitchers. Both pitch to contact, get the ball in play as Bowen shows bunt and fouls it away for strike 1.
Samantha Bowen leading off this one here, the second of the Bowen sisters. And Joseph, you mentioned the similarities. We'd be remiss not to mention coming into today, McBrayer was behind just barely as far as the national D3 rankings go in completed games and wins. She is now tied for 4th in all of Division 3 for total wins, and she's now tied for 5th in total complete games. This one's lined over the shortstop, Allen. She'll move to her right and secure that one. It's 3 pitches, 1 out. The efficiency in this game for both pitchers, so impressive.
Yeah, you love to see it if you're just a fan of good softball. This is what you want to see. The ball's in play frequently. Pitchers throwing strikes. Fielders making plays.
0-0 pitch here To the backstop, Edwards is up and out. That seems to be the one spot, Joseph, noticing the trend here in the 2 1/3 inning thus far. Carly Forster, when she misses, it's always up and out. That one does not miss. Good pitch there for strike number 1. Evens the count at 1-1. Edwards, Bennett, and then back to the top with Fry. If we can get to that point, little jam shot here over into the on-deck circle for strike number 2 here, and Forster 1 out away, or 1 strike away, I should say, from getting out number 2.
Yeah, Forster, she's really settled in. The leadoff walk, then immediately got the double play, and since then looks like she's really settled into this game.
The 1-2 delivery. Fastball sent back up the middle there past a diving Allen. It's the first hit for Wesleyan here, and it'll bring up the 9-hole hitter, Caitlin Bennett.
There's a second hit for the Wolves over 9+ innings here today.
Yeah, how about that for a stat line? 2 hits and 9 1/3. Fantastic showing in the circle for Piedmont here, and they'd love a double play. As little slash attempt, I think, is the best way to call that. It almost looked like a check swing, but it's fouled off past Isley down the third base line.
Decent balance in the lineup for Wesleyan, a fair number of left-handed hitters.
This one bounced in front of no, they'll say she caught it. Isley definitely didn't think she caught it, so she threw it to second. Umpire's not on the same page either. As
everyone seems a little bit confused there, but look there, you'll roll that. Isley caught that one out of the air.
That is a strange. So the home plate umpire did not have a catch. He signaled that the ball had dropped. The umpire standing behind second base thought that the ball had dropped or had not dropped. I'm very confused. Either way,
looks like
it's recorded as a catch.
I say looks
from
like
Isley.
Based on who is standing at first base at this moment, it's going to be a fielder's choice forced out at second because Edwards had reached, and now we're going to have a conference with the umpire. So stay tuned.
Yeah.
we will see what they're going to end up going with because everybody seems to be a little bit confused.
I would say what we have right now is a ball that dropped in front of Isley, was fired to second for the force out. The flip side, and this is important because it changes who's running at first here, the home plate umpire had Isley catching that without the bounce. And while I disagree, I do think that bounced. We might end up going with that original call, which would put Edwards back on first rather than Bennett.
One thing to note, too, is good heads-up base running by Bennett to actually run that out. And it looks like they're going to rule that a double play.
Now that's an interesting call. Bennett ran that out, no? Or did they double her off at first?
They're saying that it was an L5, 5-4. Yeah. That's the only way I can score that.
Anyway, we're going to sort this out. We'll be back with you for the bottom of the third inning.
Back here for the bottom of the third. Not quite sure how the chaos got solved, but it ends in a double play. And so that'll bring the Lady Lions to the plate. Here it's Hannah Smith in the 9-hole, and we'll turn it back over to the top of the lineup. Big swing and a miss there on a rise ball for strike one.
The best way you can describe that last play is mass confusion. We're not going to try to get into explaining it because, to be honest, we're not really sure how the umpires came to the decision that they came to. However, Hannah Smith's up, and she's got a 1-1 count.
Zupanich back out there for going into her 9th inning of work. Of course, only had to throw 6 of the last game. Has now thrown the first 2, giving up just 2 hits. It's going to work in the 3rd inning here. That's a great pitch there for strike number 2. And Hannah Smith behind 1 and 2 here, Joseph. Just hitting 182. She's really a defensive specialist. We've seen her come in for Lowry in right field near the ends of games, or when they do the switch with the DP position and the pitcher in the flex. But we haven't seen her get too many starts. Just 8 on the year here.
She's been a solid outfielder throughout her career. She's even played some second base, super utility player in the role. She has hit before in her career. Good, solid freshman year, all-conference first team, or the all-conference USA South West Division, I think second team that year. So she has been productive at the plate, just hitting 182. Maybe a good time to get her in the lineup to try to get her bat going a little bit.
See if she can create some opportunities here because, I mean, you're correct. You got to try what's working here when you're not scoring runs. This one up and in for ball 2. Smith fighting hard here. She's fouled a couple off and is really looking for something she can drive here. We'll see what Zupanich brings on 2-2. Fastball up and in again. She'll take it for a 3-2 count. It's back-to-back pitches up and in, Joseph, with the fastball. Do you go breaking ball here, or do you throw a third fastball?
I'm thinking third fastball to the number 9 hitter in the lineup.
It will be a third fastball. It'll be a ground ball. The second fielded well and tossed over to first for out number 1. Good call there. Good choice. I would agree. And maybe a different part of the lineup, you don't risk the fastball again, but to the 9-hole, you will, and that'll bring up Jasmine Lowry with 1 down.
Right fielder number 3, Jasmine Lowry.
Coach Terry Martin, a little different flavor out of the leadoff spot with Lowry this year than you had with Rebecca Stegmeyer over the last 4. A little more thunder in the bat, not as much speed, but you kind of take that trade-off if you're Terry Martin to get some extra base power, especially behind some more singles-oriented hitters at the bottom of the lineup.
18 hits for Lowry this season, 7 doubles and 2 triples. This one's not going to result in either of those. Instead, it's an F6, and that'll bring Caitlin Isley up with 2 down here.
So you mentioned in Game 1, Isley's been a constant in this Piedmont lineup the last couple of years.
For the record, that was a P6. Just got to correct myself there, but you're correct. Isley here, and she has had a great career here, but this one skied upwards, and it's 1 pitch, 1 out. So Piedmont goes quietly in the bottom of 3rd, and we're all tied up, headed to the 4th.
Maybe they just never actually got back.
Back here for the top of the 4th, we're flying through this game here. Davis Barlow, Joseph Garwood, almost halfway home, Joseph here, and bringing it back to the top of the lineup here for Wesleyan is Taylor Fry.
Forster's faced the minimum through 3 innings. I believe Fry's the only one to reach. Actually, she's one of a couple to reach. Just 1 hit and 1 walk. Fry led off the game with a walk.
Yeah, she was quickly erased on a very awkward hit ball that ended up being a double play. Piedmont's got 2 double plays.
2 awkward hit balls that have ended up into double plays in through the first 3 innings. So
this one poked out to second, fielded well, fired to first with plenty of time, and it's 2 pitches, 1 out. I mean, Forster, I don't even know if efficient is enough to describe what we're seeing.
Old school baseball term is so-and-so pitches like they're double parked, and that's kind of what we're seeing here from Forster here today.
Yeah, that is a great description here as Stevenson steps in the box for her second at bat of this game. She was the one that grounded into the double play in the first inning.
We've really seen Stevenson, who has struggled at the plate this year, came into today just 4 out of 36. She's been trying to either slap or bunt pretty much everything that she's seen so far today.
Just trying to get on base, some kind of opportunity to generate runs there. She swings through that one. Tried to pull a pitch that was on the outside of the plate. That's not going to work out very often. And that'll move the count to 1-1. Big swing and a miss there, and the count will go to 1-2.
Forster, both sides of the plate, went outside corner to get strike 1, and then came back to the inner half of the plate and blew the fastball past Stevenson.
Went right down the middle with this one. It's a little pop-up there to Lindsay Partlow, and it's out number 2, and that'll bring the pitcher, Zupanich, to the plate with 2 gone.
Next up to bat, Ford.
One thing I've been very impressed with from Forster here in this game is her command. It looks like she has, for the most part, outside of that leadoff walk, it looks like she has complete control of where these pitches are going.
I would agree here. If you're Zupanich, I mean, at this point, Joseph, I think you swing for the fences here. You're not getting much run support behind you. You're throwing a great game here. You just try to absolutely crush one as Carly Forster gets ahead here with a first pitch strike.
Great pitch by Forster to combat that. Looked like that pitch started off the outside corner and may have clipped just the very edge of the corner to get a big strike 1.
Second one here. That looks like a changeup, and wow.
Looks like a home plate umpire did a double take, like he was about to raise up to call that a strike and change his mind at the last second.
I think he should have. That was a very well-placed changeup, but the count will be 1-1. But the fastball outside does not clip the corner, and the count will go to 2-1.
Yeah, tried to get Zaponic, tried to throw the exact same pitch he threw at the first pitch, and that one just didn't quite come back enough for the home plate umpire.
Plus count for Zupanich. Big swing. It's fouled down the left field line. It'll hang on with enough room over there. Macy Allen makes the catch. It's yet another 1-2-3 inning for Forester as we head to the bottom of the 4th. Kara Taylor to lead off the bottom of the 4th here and hopefully lead off some kind of rally if you're a Piedmont faithful here. Taylor coming into the year, she's missed some games just with a hamstring injury there, an injury that unfortunately has plagued her since she arrived in Demorest. Can't seem to shake it as that is a laser over towards the Piedmont dugout there for strike 1.
One good sign for her health was she was able to leg out a triple.
Looked like she was moving really well there. 10 hits on 36 plate appearances. Still extremely high up there. She was tied for the RBI lead coming into today. She pokes this one down the right field line, tracked down well and caught for out number 1.
Gotta say, for the most part, I'm very impressed with the Wesleyan defense. They had the one throwing error on the stolen base attempt, but other than that, they've been pretty sure-handed.
Yeah, they have. It's been an all-around great effort from this Wesleyan team. I mean, besides at the plate, which you can't fault them. There are many teams that have struggled against this Piedmont pitching staff, but on the flip side, they have had a fantastic defensive and pitching effort thus far today.
Zupanich, you can see why she is a strong candidate for an all-conference.
Umpire's going to walk that one out to Zupanich. That hit Edwards square in the face mask, and she didn't even flinch. She stayed in her crouch there. Everybody getting a good laugh out of that one. Zupanich, of course, as well. I mean, you talked. She brings some heat. It is rival to McBrayer. I mean, it's very rare that you see this kind of speed on a fastball in Division III.
Another example there. Morgan just could not catch up to that one. It was probably top of the strike zone, may have been a little above it, but Morgan, that's the pitch normally she can get to, and she was unable to there.
With that kind of velo as well, you see it at the top of the zone. You think it might come back down, but when you throw that hard from that low release angle, it is not dropping back down the zone. If anything, it carries over. And McBrayer, her teammates have said she can get it up in that higher velo towards that 70 mark. I would not be surprised if Zupanich is sitting at the same velocity, if not higher.
Yeah, it's going to play even higher than that, as we mentioned, because of her extension and being able to use her long arms, long legs to get the fastball on the hitter a little bit quicker than they would expect.
2-2 pitch here. Went with the fastball inside. Morgan does get a piece of this one a little bit too far under as she fouls it straight back there. And Zupanich, it's different when you throw so hard, but you don't really have the control. When you have the control that she has and you're working the inside, outside, upper letter area of the box, I mean, you are near impossible to hit, and it's reflected on the scoreboard right now. This one a little bit too high, will not get the chase, and Morgan's battled their way to a full count.
Yeah, 3-2 pitch. Good at bat here for Morgan. Fell behind 0-2 and it's worked it back full.
See if the hard work pays off here. Zupanich can pitch her way out of this. The 3-2. Hammered into center field, but the outfielder able to fight off the sun and make the catch. That's a great job out there in center for Stevenson. We've seen many fielders, especially opposing teams, struggle with the sun position here in Demorest at this time, but no issue there.
That ball is squared up. Kind of the toughest play for an outfielder is a line drive that is directly over your head, but played well there by Stevenson.
So with 2 gone, Madison Henry will try her hand in the batter's box here. This one up and in for ball 1.
Henry's first at bat, first pitch she saw, she popped straight up.
The 1-0 delivery paints the inside corner for strike 1, and I have no answer on how you're supposed to hit that.
Yeah, that's an outstanding pitch by Zupanich.
We'll see if she goes there again. This one outside, back off the press box once again, and the count will go to 1-2, just one strike away from getting through a 4th inning clean. This one fouled back off the plexiglass, and
that almost went through the hole in the plexiglass.
I didn't even want to mention it, but yeah, there is one hole in our plexiglass that you can't see off the screen, but do not want a ball going through it. Madison Henry just about put that perfectly through. So we'll do the 1-2 again. Went with a changeup. We have not seen much of that pitch today. It bounced well short of the plate, and that might be why, but
I think we saw a few of the pitches that were hit hard by Piedmont late in game 1 were on off-speed pitches that were left over the middle of the plate. Her fastball has been so dominant that you can see why she's really rarely gone away from that here in game 2.
Well, but the fastball up does not get a chase. It's well over Edwards. I don't think anyone's swinging at that. And once again, we've got a 3-2 count. The delivery. This one down and in. It's hammered by Morgan. Outfielder turns and watches as this one clanks off the wall. It'll be a stand-up double for Morgan, and with 2 gone, Hannah Morgan's given Piedmont some life, and it'll bring the plus 500 hitter Kennedy Votova into the box.
Yeah, that was absolutely crushed by Henry. I thought she might have hit her second home run of the year there, but either way, she's in scoring position. It looks like she's going to be lifted for a pinch runner.
I believe I said that was Morgan. You're correct. It is Henry, and Hannah Calloway will come in to run, the expert pinch runner, the go-to for Terry Martin when you need an upperclassman that you trust on the bases to make something happen here in Piedmont with its best opportunity to score a run. Joseph, not surprised to see her out there.
And the hitter you want at the plate, Kennedy Votava, the left fielder, she's now hitting over 500 on the season. She's 15 for 29 after her base hit in her first plate appearance here in Game 2.
Interesting situation, and Terry Martin has a lot of weight on his shoulders at third here. 15 hits, like you said, for Votava. Just one of them an extra base hit. So she's a bunt and singles machine here. Not likely to back the outfield up as Calloway's running. Fired to third. It hits her in the face mask. She seems to be okay, and it'll be a stolen base for Calloway. And now she stands on third base. Umpire's going to brush off the bag, give her some time, as, again, that hit her straight in the face mask.
Yeah, that was that same play we saw the catcher Edwards throw away in the left field in Game 1, which led to Piedmont's first run. And that time the covering shortstop Bowen was able to keep it around the bag to keep Calloway at third. But now,
yeah, really, it was Calloway's face mask that just saved the run. If Calloway's able to, somehow get out of the way of that, it rolls into the outfield. The outfielders are so shallow, it might hold Calloway at third. It's one of the fortunate things about the face mask. In baseball, they teach you to slide away, facing away for situations like that. But the pitch was a strike here as Votava fouls this one off. She'll quickly be down at 0-2. Of course, Calloway's moving on any contact with 2 down here, but you now require Votova to reach base.
A lot of ways Zupanich can go now. We'll see if she goes the darting fastball off the plate away.
Biggest pitch of the day here, 0-2. This one hammered into left, and it'll drop in. Kennedy Votava with just 2 strikes on her is able to make it work. And the 16th hit of the year for her is a huge RBI.
Little 2-out rally for the Lions. The double by Henry. Calloway steals third as the pinch runner, and Votava with a 2-strike slash into left. That pitch, her ability to able to get on top of that fastball, that was probably close to letter high, and she was able to not pop it up and get it into left field for the hit.
And it's such a difficult thing to do for a left-handed slapper, like you said, not only to stay on top of the fastball, but to go the other way like that. She got a good piece of that ball, just dropped it in perfectly, and again, we call it manufacturing runs. That's how you manufacture a run in a 0-0 game. Partlow squares to Bunnets because Votava is stealing here. The throw is too late, and it's another stolen base for Votava.
Looks like that's her second stolen base here in this game. She came into today 7 for 7 on stolen base attempts. Make it 9 for 9 after that last one.
Counts 2-0 here. That will draw Edwards to have a chat with Zupanich here. You do have room if you just want to go ahead and put Partlow on. That may be part of the discussion here.
Waiting in the on-deck circle for Piedmont is Macy Allen, a .333 hitter on the season. So that's something if you're going to do if you're Wesleyan, you do that at your own risk, put an extra runner on base.
2-0 here is up and out. That will be ball 3. And I mean, Partlow, the only thing I could think here, Partlow, much higher slugging percentage than Allen. 5 extra base hits on the year compared to Allen's 2. Maybe you take the chance that Allen is less likely to gap one here. Partlow definitely has a red light as she'll take a fastball on the 3-0 count. I mean, that's the only thing I could think of. That's a really good pitch. I would not throw that to Partlow again.
Yeah, that looks like in her zone, that down and in, just above the knees, inner half of the plate. Sweet spot for a lot of hitters.
3-1 here. Went with the same pitch, and that is crushed foul. Playing a dangerous game is Zupanic there, and now with the 3-2, you're really still in the same situation.
Yeah, Partlow was all over that one. Just a hair out in front of it.
Definitely was sitting on that pitch. See what Zupanic draws up. The 3-2. Fastball outside, gets her swinging. Piedmont able to manufacture a run. They'll carry a 1-0 lead as we get ready for the back half of game number 2. Carly Forrester back out for a 5th inning of work here. Top of the 5th, Piedmont, that 1-run lead. See how close to the vest head coach Terry Martin wants to play that one.
Heart of the order up for the Wolves. Ariel Wallace steps in.
One pitch, right back to the pitcher. Fielded well there by Forrester, and it'll be 1 pitch, 1 out. And now that'll bring up the 5-hole, Caitlin McCord.
Seen a lot of first pitch swings and first pitch outs from Forrester. You gotta love the efficiency.
That's a big first out as well. Again, the cleanup hitter leading off the inning. You had to be feeling good if you were Wesleyan, but instead she's erased. That's a hit by pitch there as it catches McCord pretty flush in the helmet. And so with 1 gone, we'll have a runner on first here. And it'll
just held on to that one a little bit too long. Forrester, as we mentioned, her command and control has been outstanding since that leadoff walk, and just one got away from her there. We'll see if she can pitch around it.
The Bowen twins. The next 2 up, the sisters here, having solid days in the field, and Sabrina Bowen going to look to improve her day at the plate. She's behind 0-1 here. She'll drop a bunt. It's back to Forrester. It's going to be a foot race to the bag that Lindsay Partlow wins. So a sacrifice bunt. We'll move the runner to second, and that'll bring up the second sister here, Samantha Bowen.
It's a good job on that last play by Forrester to not panic when Partlow had not gotten to the bag yet. Just gave her a little bit extra time and hit her in stride to collect that big second out.
Way more difficult than it looks. You kind of just have to toss it towards the bag and let your fielder get to the bag. It's almost like a quarterback leading a receiver. You just have to pick a spot and let your fielder do the work.
That's the kind of thing that repetitions in practice makes all the difference for.
And it pays off here as Piedmont now with 2 down. Forrester ahead 0-1. Now make it 0-2. 2 pitches, 2 balls fouled back in identical locations, and now just 1 pitch away from getting out of a little bit of a scary situation here. Runner moving on contact. Anything that's out of the infield will score 1. The 0-2. With what looked like an attempt at a curveball, missed that one well into the right-handed batter's box, and the count will go to 1-2.
Not a bad attempt there. Try to see if you can get a chase on something out of the strike zone. We'll likely see this one more, at least toward the zone.
Right back over the middle and fouled back to the same spot for the 3rd time.
Pretty good swings we've seen from Bowen here. She's been all over. 3 of these pitches have been fouled straight back.
Dropping her back shoulder just a little bit, which is leading to that barrel Dropping down and the ball being fouled back. Makes the correction here. It's played into shallow left field. They will hold the runner right on base. That was about the one place you could hit it that wouldn't score a run, but now they're on the corners with 2 down.
Good job by Votava to get to that quickly. No chance to send the runner from second.
Yeah, Votava was so shallow there, Joseph. I mean, she was maybe 10 steps from the infield.
Good piece of hitting by Bowen, and now it's going to come up to be up to Presley Edwards.
That's such a difficult thing to do as a hitter, is to make those micro adjustments live in an at-bat. It took her 4 attempts to do so, but again, hats off to her for being able to make that happen. And now Edwards going to try to do some damage. First pitch swinging. It'll just barely get down there as Henry and Isley gave chase. The count will move to 0-1.
2 outs, less likely to see action from Bowen at first. Don't want to run into the 3rd out with a chance to tie this game.
This one fouled back. The count goes to 0-2 here. Forrester once again 1 pitch away from getting out of a dangerous situation. Brief mental pause here for both batter and pitcher as some of the foul balls come back into play. Henry gets the sign from the dugout here. She'll relay it to Forrester. The 0-2 delivery. One with the fastball. This one's hammered towards the left center field. It gets over Votava. That'll score 1. Chugging around third is Bowen. It scores 2, and Wesleyan with a 2-out double has taken the lead.
That ball was crushed by Edwards. Looked like Votava might have had a beat on it, but that ball hit a 2nd gear, and she wasn't quite able to cut it off. 2 outs, the runner was going on contact from first, and that's going to be a massive hit there for Edwards. Flips this game right around.
It happened in game number 1. It happens here in game number 2. Both offenses generate runs in the 4th and 5th inning, and it's 2 for Wesleyan here now. We're not out of trouble yet either in Demorest. If Carly Forrester cannot find a 3rd out, that one's on the outer portion of the plate, but doesn't quite catch it. It'll go 1-1.
Bennett had last time hit into that weird double play that we're not sure if it was a line out or a 5-4-3 double play. So we'll see what she can do here ahead in the count 2-1.
Back-to-back misses off the outer portion of the plate. Forrester might come inside with this one, and she does. It pops straight up in a diving catch. No, she doesn't secure it. It pops out. Fired to third, and they'll get the out. Madison Henry almost made a great play, but she keeps her head on straight, fires it to third to nab Edwards trying to advance. So Piedmont manufactures an out to get themselves out of a rough situation, and they trail 2-1 headed into the bottom of the 5th. Back here for the bottom of the 5th, Piedmont now trailing. I mean, this one is flipped around like crazy. We went from Piedmont leading 1-0 to trailing 2-1, and now we'll see a pinch hitter, Emma McBrayer, batting for Macy Allen here, and an interesting situation to see what they do with McBrayer after this one. But got to get through this at bat first. Would love a crushed ball here, and she gets a great piece of this one. Over the right fielder's head, can't make the Willie Mays basket catch in right. And then it'll be a double for McBrayer and Joseph. That was a mental and maybe a coaching mistake there from Wesleyan. The right fielder was playing way too far in, thinking it was Allen at the plate, and by the time she realized it's McBrayer, that one's well over her head on what should be a routine flyout.
Yeah, that ball was hit pretty well by McBrayer, but it wasn't hit incredibly far, and just the fact that the right fielder had to go so far back, it was a tough play. She was able to get there, but it hit off the tip of her glove. It looks like we're going to have Macy Allen pinch run for McBrayer, who pinch hit for her.
So Allen straight back in. McBrayer stands in the box, slaps it to right field, runs back to the dugout to celebrate. That's a good game number 2 for your starting pitcher from game 1, and that now brings Hannah Smith to the plate. She squares the bunt, pulls back. I believe it's a ball. It was a good pitch.
Yeah, it must have missed just low. Wesleyan's got everybody in the infield in motion trying to protect against the bunt and the stolen base.
I think you have to bunt here if you're Hannah Smith. She'll square again, drops it down foul. The count will go 1-1. I mean, again, I think in the current situation, you have to get Allen to third and trust that either Lowry or Isley can manufacture the tying run behind.
Lowry and Isley have been 2 of the team's top hitters this season, so you have to put the faith in them.
Oh, or you have this happen. Hannah Smith squares the bunt. Edwards doesn't quite see the pitch, and it nicks off her glove and just goes past. I mean, that's a ball that you got to have as a catcher.
Yeah, sometimes you see this, like when the batter squares the bunt and they pull it back late.
Yeah,
sometimes you see catchers get screened a little bit by the bat, and so that's going to be a tough call, wild pitch, pass ball. Probably one you got to have if you're the catcher.
I would say it's a very cheeky technique that's taught early. You almost will square that bat at the eye level of the catcher for that intended purpose, as that one barely nicks the corner for strike number 2. But when you you're right, Joseph, when you set that bat at eye level, it makes it difficult for the catcher to see it. When you pull back late, the reaction time's just not there.
Let's see if Smith's bunting with the 2-2.
She is not swinging. Chip shot. Game's tied. Just like that, a McBrayer double. A wild pitch, pass ball, however you want to call it. And then Hannah Smith with the RBI there. It's just her second on the year.
Great piece of hitting by Smith. Pitch was outside corner, maybe even a little bit off, but she just got her bat to it, just perfectly floated over the infield in front of the outfield, and Piedmont's in business.
And that's going to draw a mound visit here out of Ryan Bliss. So while he does that, we'll take a short break here. Don't go anywhere. Back here, Ryan Bliss has done his best to settle Zupanic here. And now a dream situation, Joseph, for Piedmont. You've got the top of the lineup coming up here. No one gone. You've already tied the game, and Hannah Smith stands on first base.
A big opportunity for the Lady Lions. Also third time through the order in this contest for Lowry seeing Zupanic.
Fastball for strike 1 right down the middle.
Smith just 1 for 1 on stolen base attempts so far this year. Does have good speed though. We'll see if Coach Terry Martin has Lowry bunting here.
I would let her swing it. She was slugging .630 coming into today's contest. That one misses inside. Throw will not catch Smith as she's got her second stolen base of the year, and now she's in scoring position with no one gone.
Yeah, works best of both worlds there. You can let Lowry hit for herself, and now she's got a runner in scoring position to knock in.
More impressive numbers. Jasmine Lowry came into this game with 18 hits, 9 of them extra base hits. This one sent out to center field. Caught there. Ooh, that's going to be a close
Yeah, I saw the same thing.
Second, we'll see if they check it. Sliding into third safely is Smith, but I think we both caught that at the same moment.
Yeah, very close to tagging up a little, leaving a little bit early there by Smith. Looks like everything's going to be all good for her. She's going to be one bag away from giving Piedmont the lead.
As Zupanich steps back on and gets ready to deal to the plate. Piedmont might have caught a break there as Isley drops a bunt down. It lands beautifully and stops right in front of the plate. It's a bunt single for Isley, who's now just going to go ahead and jog over to second. They're going to give it to her. So how about that? A bunt single and then just kept on going. Did Isley turned into the field of play and just jogged over to second. So
looked like the bat almost acted as a barrier to that ball spinning back foul. Looked like the catcher Edwards was waiting for it to spin foul, but it just never did.
So that'll bring Kara Taylor to the plate. 2 runners in scoring position, just 1 gone. Now if you're Wesleyan, your lead was short-lived.
Yeah, base is open here. Big hitter and Taylor at the plate. Another big hitter on deck in Hannah Morgan. So we'll see how they decide to play it.
Yeah, as of right now, you can attempt to pitch around Taylor. Don't have to throw her anything too good. Went with the fastball inside. It's popped up to short, and it's dropped, caught. No, I believe it's caught.
It's like Hannah Smith alertly tagged up.
No, they're going to check. I don't think she tagged. Maybe she did. They might check second as well.
Next up to bat for the Lady Lions.
Okay.
It looked like
someone signaled safe on that original confusion. I thought it was caught as well.
they're going to have just a rare P6 sac fly.
Yeah. If it works, it works. Piedmont, you'll take it. Now Hannah Morgan steps in the box with 2 gone here. Fouled straight back towards the press booth there for strike number 1. And Zupanich now just 2 strikes away from getting out of this one or another P6. She would definitely take that, but Piedmont's got a 3-2 lead.
Kind of a confusing play. It looked like the shortstop Bowen just got a very late jump on that.
This one's popped straight up here. Catcher's trying to find it. Edwards, great job to lose the mask, fight the sun, and make the catch. Out of the inning goes Wesleyan, but not before Piedmont finds 2 and takes a 3-2 lead into the top of the 6th.
At the end of the 5th.
Carly Forrester back out for her 6th inning of a work here. Top of the order, 1-2-3 for Wesleyan, due up. Piedmont just 6 outs away from securing this one, but Joseph, it's going to be 6 difficult outs.
Yeah, Wesleyan played at a couple in the top half of the 5th. Piedmont retook the lead with 2 runs of their own, and we'll have a first pitch ground out.
Speak it into existence there. Fielded well by Partlow, fired over to Taylor. I feel like that's the 3rd time that Forrester's done that.
Something that you definitely love to see, a first pitch out to lead off the inning.
So Stevenson will give it her best attempt. Zupanich stands on deck. They want to try to pass it to Wallace if they can, but it'll require one of the next 2 to reach, and Stevenson's behind 0-1.
Piedmont in CCS play had gone, I think, 24 innings of scoreless ball, counting the doubleheader sweep of Berea last week and the first game of this doubleheader, until Wesleyan finally played it a couple runs last frame.
Forrester ahead 0-2. Big swing and a miss there. She'll get the strikeout, and just like that, Piedmont's got 2 down and trying to get back to that set of clean frames are the Lady Lions, but you got to be careful of Zupanic here. Okay, they're going to make the change defensively. Nerva's headed to center. Little confusion on who's going where. Smith will jog over to right, and that'll pull Lowry out of the game. It's a defensive substitution with 2 gone.
A rare mid-inning defensive substitution.
Yeah.
You don't see that all that often. I guess the thought process being Zupanic, potential fly ball hitter, and you want to have your best defense you possibly can out there, especially with the lead late.
That logic would track. Again, Zupanic is such a danger at the plate. We'll see if she can manufacture something and at least give Wallace a chance here. If not, Wallace would lead off the top of the 7th, which is 4-5-6 for Wesleyan. Not the worst situation, but you definitely would love a pair of hits here in the top of the 6th. The 0-0. Change up, fouled straight back. Zupanic was definitely sitting fastball.
Yeah, somehow she was able to still wait back to get a piece of it, but had all of her weight out front there, not able to generate much power on the swing.
Interesting to see if they'll double up on the changeup or go fastball here. Webb with the fastball. It's a bunt attempt back to Forrester, fired to first, and the creativity does not pay off. Piedmont goes to the bottom of the 6th with a 3-2 lead. Henry Votava, part lower. The 3 due up for the Lady Lions, barring any pinch hitters. And, of course, runners reaching, hitters finally getting to Zupanic on a higher volume would lead to us seeing more batters this inning. But it starts with Madison Henry here as Piedmont, hoping this is the last time they're at the dish. Trying to add some run support here as Forrester will likely try to close out a complete game.
Swing and a miss there by Henry. Piedmont, you want to have a couple insurance runs, as never hurts to have a little cushion going into the top half of the 7th.
Zupanic is working on her 12th inning today, and I don't think the velo's dropped at all. This one's popped up towards first base. Little confusion, and it's dropped in foul territory.
I think the first baseman, McCord, heard footsteps from the second baseman.
Yeah.
And may have caused her to just lose slight bit of concentration and have that ball tick off the end of her glove.
Zupanic would have loved that out, and it'll hurt even more if Henry can manufacture something with 2 strikes. Fouls this one straight back, and we'll do the 0-2 again. Zupanic sets. 0-2 past Henry there, went with the fastball outside, got the chase, and it'll be 1 gone here.
That ball is a outstanding pitch there by Zupanic. Looked like I had some cutting action away from Henry and just above the strike zone, just enticing enough to get the chase.
Left fielder number 32, Kennedy Votava.
See what the left-handed Votava can do here. Pokes that one foul for strike number 1.
Looks like Votava has really zeroed in on exactly what she wants to do at the plate. Like she is wearing out the left side of the field, infield and outfield, with those slap base hits.
Thought about dropping the bunt down, but didn't like the pitch she saw. Count will go to 1-1. This one far from over. You need insurance runs here if you're Piedmont by any means necessary. So that one had a little cut to it as well. Doesn't quite cut enough back over the plate, and it'll be a plus count now for Votava.
Outfield extremely shallow across the board.
Down in the dirt for ball 3. And the outfield is playing like they're playing a shift almost, Joseph. I mean, you're 7-8 steps from being in the infield.
Yeah, it's very shallow. Anything in the gap, right center, she'll run for days.
This one's popped up to the pitcher. That's a dangerous situation there as the shortstop almost collided with Supanic, who was angling awkwardly backwards, but she'll make the catch and it'll bring Partlow to the plate with 2 gone. Yeah, you're right about that, Joseph, though. If Votava can figure out how to get a little bit more power behind the ball, really some backspin and hit one into one of those gaps, I mean, we could see an inside the park home run if it gets to the wall.
I want to say a couple of years ago, Hannah Smith in her freshman season, who's normally a slap hitter, hit one into right center field, and she circled the bases for an inside the park home run.
Well, Votava, just a sophomore, still has the rest of this season and plus a couple years to really figure that one out and add that to her arsenal. As the second baseman, Lindsay Partlow's got a 1-1 count on her right now. Wind slowly starting to pick up. American flag in the left center starting to blow out towards the baseball indoor facility. Partlow down to her last strike here. Gonna have to try to get this one in play somehow. Ooh, cutter on the inside portion of the plate. That is a nasty pitch. Freezes Partlow, and now Piedmont going to try to get the last 3 outs and escape today with the doubleheader win.
In the 6th inning.
So one defensive change for Piedmont. It's Lexi Chitwood headed to left field there for Kennedy Votava. Defensive outfield setup is Chitwood in left, Nerva in center, Smith in right. That's probably your best defensive outfield that you have in field, and the catcher-pitcher spot remains the same as Forrester goes back to work. It's a good spot, but won't get the call.
Yeah, it just missed off the inside part of the plate there.
They said there was a field change.
This one misses in. Oh, no. We'll get the called strike.
Looks like about the same pitch that was called a ball in the first pitch of the at-bat.
I was going to say that one, it might even have been a little bit worse than the other one there. So Wallace has the 1-1 count. This one smashed to third, bobbled a little bit by Allen, fired to first, and she'll be all safe there. I'll be honest.
Bang play. It looked like they might have gotten her by like the smallest of margins. But
I'll be honest, I think Isley faked Allen. She acted like she was going to reach for it and left it, and it surprised Allen there at short. A little bit of a bobble by Allen, and they can't get her. Wow, and they're going to make the change. So that's how short the leash was for Forrester. Pitching change coming here. That's going to be number 26.
Megan Steinmeier
In to close this one out. So we'll take a break while Steinmeier warms up. Steinmeier's ready here. Carly Forrester's day is done. 6 innings completed, and she'll turn it over to Steinmeier here. With Forrester being responsible for the runner at first here, Steinmeier made her debut last time the Lady Lions were here. Again, it was a great return to action for her this season. But now the pressure's really on here, Joseph. You need 3 outs.
Talk about a pressure spot here. We'll see if Steinmeier can close the door.
So McCord and the Bowen sisters, who you'll look to pick. You'd love a double play. But right now you've got to get in the zone. First couple pitches or balls, it'll draw Isley and Taylor in for words of encouragement. And now the 2-0 delivery. Gets a big swing and a miss there.
The pitch had a lot of movement on it.
Steinmeier's got some velo as well behind her fastball. Got a good little cut to it as well, some bite. The 2-1. This one's going to be up. That was the same pitch as well, so that indicates to me, Joseph, that probably should have been ball 4.
3-1 count. You definitely do not want to issue a walk here and put the tying run in scoring position with nobody out.
McBrayer has been burned as that one bites and catches the corner there for 3-2. Yeah, I mean, this is who you turn to if you're Piedmont. Ooh,
May have been
barely.
ball 4.
Yeah, barely gets a piece of that one. Might have been ball 4, but you got to protect with 2 strikes. And I mean, that is the definition of throwing your bat out there and hoping it finds something. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Scoreline here as well. 3-2. Piedmont leads. Just 3 outs away from closing out this double header, but that's a big walk. And now the tying run at second with no one out. The go-ahead run at first. That'll bring Sabrina Bowen to the plate. Her sister Samantha Bowen on deck.
This has to be a bunt. If there ever was a time for one, this would be it right here. First and second, nobody out, down a run in the 7th.
Not squaring. Takes a big hat. Does Sabrina. It's a swing and a miss there, Joseph. And I mean, I was on the same wavelength as you. I am floored that that's not a bunt attempt.
She took a mighty cut,
Yes,
that
she
one.
did. She was thinking 5-3 scoreline. Now she squares to bunt. It's back to Steinmeier. Piedmont forced to take the out. No, they double clutch. It's thrown into the outfield here. Fired home. What a throw. And the tag is not there. What a rough sequence for the Lady Lions there.
Looks like Steinmeier was unable to pull the trigger on the throw to first base, and then when she finally did, she spiked it.
Triple clutched, spiked.
Almost
that was
saved on a great throw by Hannah Smith, but it looked like the catcher Henry, it was a great slide by the tying run because Henry was unable to get down to get the tag on the runner coming to the plate.
That is one of the notes I had on Hannah Smith. It has a cannon in the outfield, and that was a dime. Just again, yeah, like you said. I mean, it's great. It's a great slide from Wallace. Head first slide, gets around Henry at the plate. I mean, you're positioned, facing foul territory down the first base line, and wow, Steinmeier. Another short leash pitching change again. We'll take a short break as Riley Ford gets warm. Back here as Riley Ford will take over for the Lady Lions here. Piedmont with only one pitcher left on the roster after Ford here. Didn't even think we'd see it. Thought they might leave it in for Steinmeier, but you got second and third. Nobody out. The second Bowen sister up here as she fouls this one down the third baseline. Riley Ford seen action in just 14 2/3 innings. 4.91 ERA.
Infield in for Piedmont across the board.
Game's tied here. Go ahead run stands on third. Some insurance stands on second.
Great stop there by Henry on pitch spiked in the dirt by Ford. That potentially saved the go-ahead run.
Madison Henry is a fantastic backstop. As this one grounded to third, handled well by Isley. She'll look back, the runner bounces the throw to first, but Kara Taylor, great job to stay down on that one and make the pick.
Yeah.
Scary situation there, negated by some good defensive work at first.
Kara Taylor saved the Lady Lions, and Caitlin Isley there. That was a tough pick, and she came up with it cleanly.
Because that loads the bases with nobody out, assuming Taylor could even keep it in front of her.
Or scores the run if
Yeah.
it gets past her.
But instead, it's one gone, same situation. Big swing and a miss to the 8-hole hitter, Edwards.
Edwards has a couple hits. She scorched one out to the gap her last plate appearance.
This is the part of the lineup that you will want to face, though. It's 7, 8, 9. You just got 7. You have 8 here, and then the 9-hole hitter stands on deck. That's a good pitch, but it's down and in for ball 1.
A time where a strikeout would be absolutely huge. Ford, probably the best strikeout per inning pitcher on the staff. 17 Ks and 14 1/3.
This one hit straight up. Henry, good job to track out there and make the catch in foul territory. And now there's 2 gone here. Riley Ford, 1 out away from a brilliant 7th inning. It is really just, there's no other way to put it, it's bailed out the Lady Lions.
Yeah, massive. Trying to complete the Houdini act is Ford here. Now Piedmont with the second out. They can play their defense at a generally normal depth.
You can call this the Tyler Matzik special. If she's able to get all 3 here.
Now we'll have another visit from head coach Terry Martin. Looks like this is just a couple quick words of encouragement.
Yeah, Bliss wanted to take some time to chat with Bennett. Terry Martin takes that time to send a couple quick words to his infield here. Just need an out to escape this one. The 0-0. Swing and a miss. It was not fouled off. That is a live ball.
Looked like maybe the runner at third base, McCord, maybe have thought it was foul ball. Didn't get a good break on it. Would have been a bang play anyway at the plate if she had broken.
I would say you got the contact. I actually think that hit Madison Henry in the shoulder. That might have mimicked the sound of a foul ball. Another bunt attempt by Bennett. That's very surprising.
Yeah, now
Tying run on third with 2 gone, and you've tried to bunt twice.
And now Ford a strike away from sending this game to the bottom of the 7th tied.
Get a change of softballs and a shoe tied at second base before we do the 0-2. Riley Ford, 1 strike away from 3 straight outs with the tying run standing on third base. Tossed into an unfortunate situation, a worse nightmare for a bullpen pitcher. The 0-2. Got her swinging, and just like that, Riley Ford has kept Piedmont in this game. They'll go to the bottom of the 7th, looking to walk it off here at the Walker Athletic Complex. So Macy Allen up to the plate this time. No pinch hitter for her. This will be 8-9-1. Allen, Smith back to the top with Lowry. Allen takes a first pitch ball as that one's down in the zone. How about that performance for Riley Ford, Joseph? Giving Piedmont a chance here, really a low pressure chance. Now you get to have some fun. It's a big chance to walk it off here in Demris. Bunt down the first baseline. What a play from Zupanic there. How about that? Falling to her knees, makes the throw, gets Allen at first.
It really couldn't have placed it any better there if you're Allen, but Zupanic, she's got to tip your cap. That was an outstanding play. Hopefully she's okay. It's like she's taking a little extra time in the circle.
Yeah, limping just a little bit, but you want to talk about placement there. Allen, again, takes up so much of that baseline and that angle. I mean, you have no room for error. You either hit Allen in the back or you pull the first baseman off the bag if you miss left or right. She threads the needle, gets the out, and now Hannah Smith behind 0-1.
Hartley Nerva, remember she came in defensively in center as they shifted Smith to right and lifted Lowry out of the game.
Wow.
So instead of the big bat in Lowry, it'll be Hartley Nerva on deck.
2 quick balls now gives Hannah Smith a plus count. That's another one of those situations just where you prioritize defense. You burn Lowry out of the lineup, who again was slugging over 600, might even be over 650 at this point. And instead you have Hartley Nerva coming up as Smith takes a big swing and a miss there. Nerva can swing it in her own right. Well, she doesn't match up quite to Lowry. Still 9 hits for the on-deck Nerva. Hannah Smith trying to drop one in, but the outfield is so shallow. That is that's the lowest and shallowest FH you'll see.
Yeah, not a bad swing by Smith. Just didn't quite have that one threaded between the infield and outfield. There's not a ton of room. And we'll see Terry Martin again come to the home plate umpire. Looks like Lowry will be re-entered, which is not surprising with Lowry's offensive prowess at the plate this season.
Leaves a question mark, though, on what you do on the defensive end if you go back out for extras, because now Lowry, you either burn Lowry if you put Nerva back in, or you risk Lowry. I mean, I say risk like Lowry just can't play out there. She's a full utility player. She could play defense, but Nerva, of course, was put in because she's the better defender. So you either
would guess you would see Hannah Smith move back to center field where she started the game, and Lowry take her original spot in right.
That is the option. We'll see what he goes with. Hopefully we don't have to find out if you're a Lions fan. You'd love for Lowry to just gap one here and turn it over to Isley with a chance to win it. The 0-0 here. Up in the zone for ball 1. Haven't quite gotten clarification on what the extra inning rules would be. We'll cover those if we have to. The 1-0 here. Fouled straight back. Count moves to even 1-1.
Lowry, we mentioned her extra base success. Coming into today, she had 18 hits and 9 of which went for extra bases, including a triple in game 1.
I'd love to see the first home run of the year from her here, as that one's up 2-1. Might be the first one in her career as well. Definitely has the pop. She's been spraying the ball all over the yard all season long. Zupanic supplies the power. 2-1 here. Big swing and a miss. Might have been, or fouled back. Might have been thinking my exact thought is that one was either heading over the fence or going to be a big cut and a miss. Barely got a piece of that one. Fouled it almost directly backwards, and Lowry now with the 2-2 count. She'll be frozen by that fastball. It's strike 3. We're headed to extras here. Don't go anywhere. So it's looking like no international tiebreaker. We're just playing softball here. So extra softball here at the Walker Athletic Complex. Tied after 7. We've got to find a winner somehow. It'll be Taylor Fry to lead off for the Wolves here against Riley Ford, who just arguably had her best inning of her career. We'll see if she can continue to shut down Wesleyan here. Big swing and a miss to get the count back to 1-1.
Yeah, no international tiebreaker, so we'll see what happens. You got to think that favors the team with the most depth, and you would think that would be Piedmont based on the records coming into this game.
And based on roster size alone, I believe there are no depth options for Wesleyan today.
Ford ahead in the count 1-2. As we mentioned earlier, great escape job in the top half of the 7th inning to keep this game going.
Big 1-2 pitch here, gets the strikeout looking. That'll be 1 down in the top of the 8th.
Back-to-back punch-outs for Ford.
Stevenson steps up to give it her best attempt as Ford will look for her 3rd consecutive strikeout. Beautiful spot, just a little bit too far off the plate. Great pitch there from Riley Ford to once again pull the count back to 1-1.
Good cutting action on that pitch, it looked like. Started a little bit off the plate and clipped the outside edge at the last second. Stevenson was a strikeout victim her last time. That was against Forrester, though.
That is exactly what I was about to bring up. We'll see if Riley Ford can find the success instead. That's a just poke from the slap hitting center fielder, but a great play by Lindsay Partlow, falling to one knee to flick that over to Kara Taylor, and it's 2 gone now.
That was trouble after it got past Ford. You got to give Partlow credit. The speed at which the ball got from her glove to Kara Taylor's glove was nothing short of impressive. Well done by the second baseman.
Fast hands there is now Zupanic trying to help herself. Steps into play with 2 down. Ooh, that one's going to be fouled off the inside leg of Madison Henry, and that's going to draw a courteous walk out to Riley Ford by the umpire just to give Henry a couple seconds to breathe. I mean, we know that doesn't feel good.
Absolutely not. If you're Piedmont, Zupanic, a little dangerous hitter. She's one of the hitters, maybe one of the few hitters in this Wesleyan lineup that has over-the-fence power.
Trying to pitch around her as that one's down in the dirt. Wanted the chase, didn't get it. Count will go to 1-1. Both teams, top portion of their lineup. Piedmont 2, 3, 4. On the bottom half, this is a little jam shot behind second, and Partlow shows off the speed, makes the catch, and we'll see if Piedmont can win it in the bottom of the 8th.
Scores time. Leading off for the lane.
So, to the bottom of the 8th we go. 2, 3, 4 for Piedmont do up here? I mean, Joseph, this is what you asked for. This is who you want in this situation. It goes Isley, Taylor, Morgan. I'd be shocked if we see Henry come to the plate in a situation where Piedmont hadn't scored and ended this one already, but big swing and a miss there from Isley. Is Zupanic back out there now for her 14th inning of work?
Yeah, she has been nothing sort of impressive for Wesleyan. We saw her here in the USA South Tournament Championship Series last year, and she has done outstanding work here in the circle today, keeping Wesleyan alive in this game despite not a huge showing, just 3 total runs for the Wolves, but they got a real chance to get out of here with a split.
Wind direction's now blowing out towards the scoreboard in left center field. Oh, that's a late called strike there to Isley. She'll be down 1-2. Just we talked about the lack of power demonstrated in the lineup. Not that there's not power in the lineup for Piedmont, but lack of over-the-fence power. I mean, this feels like the moment for it to finally be unleashed here, and this is the right portion of the lineup to do it. Isley may be able to gap one to get this inning started, but she's got a battle here with a 2-2 count. Does get under this one, but it's shallow. Headed into center. Coming on is the center fielder to make the catch, and with Stevenson securing that one, it's 1 down in the bottom of the 8th.
Now step to the plate for the Lady Lions.
See Kara Taylor's team leader in home runs last year.
Taylor.
Had a breakout power season at the plate. As you mentioned earlier, she's battled through some injuries early this season, but no time like the present for that first home run.
Oh, fastball crushed into left field, burns the outfielder, and it drops down for a stand-up double here. How about that? First pitch swinging, and she just barely didn't get all of it. You almost spoke that into existence.
Yeah, just maybe hit it a little bit off the handle or toward the end of the bat, but it definitely turned around the left fielder, Samantha Bowen, tried to reach out the last second and make the catch, but was unable to. It looks like Terry Martin, we could likely see a pinch runner here for Taylor with the winning run standing at second base.
I think it's a good choice as well. The question is, who do you turn it to? I've got 23 prepping.
So it's going to be Anna Lee Keys, freshman outfielder from Decula, Georgia, Mill Creek High School.
Don't have too much on her. No stolen base attempts to go off of. Just 1 plate appearance with a strikeout, but none of that matters as long as she can get moving here. Hannah Morgan, chance to walk it off. Outfield is extremely deep in center field. A base hit to center should score Anna Lee Keys. Probably the same situation in left field. Right field, the only place where the fielder is shallow, might be able to cut down the run at the plate. The 0-0. First pitch swinging into left field. That one's hit way too hard. Nope, they're going to send her. Keys rounds third. She'll score standing up. Walk us off, Hannah Morgan. Piedmont with the sweep on the day, but it takes a little extra softball.
Great piece of hitting by Hannah Morgan. Hit an absolute laser, and you called it, Davis. The left fielder was playing so deep that even though that ball was hit incredibly hard, just too much speed for Anna Lee Keys. Got a great jump on that play off the bat with 1 out. And Piedmont took a little longer than they wanted to, but they get the doubleheader sweep and are now 4-0 in CCS play to start things off.
Definitely not the fashion that you're looking for, but at the end of the day, as you said, the results what matters. You're 4-0 in the CCS, and just like that, you're good with momentum moving into tomorrow. Supposed to play St. Olaf here tomorrow at 2 and 4. Weather will determine if that contest gets played or starts on time, but you know, PiedmontLions.com. Always the place to see what's happening, schedule updates, all of that. Joseph, thank you so much for joining me today. I mean, this was a blast here. Great Piedmont showing.
Absolutely, Davis. We'll see you tomorrow, weather permitting. As always, check PiedmontLions.com for the latest schedule updates. Thank you.